Hey my friends, a bit of a different video here today, and I'm trialing this, so we'll see how it goes. But what I want to do is kind of attempt a vlog style video or a reading vlog kind of video. We'll see how it goes because I'm a nurse and I know how much time and motivation and everything goes into making a YouTube video. So hopefully my schedule and my nursing schedule allow me to kind of do all this. But I want to make I'll start off by saying I am kind of new to the book world. So this is a new world that I'm entering, and I just want to try it because I'm actually really getting into reading books. The only time that's happened is when I was younger, and I used to read, like, you know, all the Roald Dahls, Goosebumps, Babysitter's Club, all sorts of books. I've only just re-entered the reading world, and I've read 23 books this year, and I know that might not seem like a lot because I know there's other reading people or readers that they read 23 books in 1 month. My reading is all over the place. I kind of just pick up books. Well, every night actually I have been reading if my nursing schedule kind of allows me to, and it depends how tired I'm feeling. If I'm upset or really tired, then I don't normally read because I want to be able to focus on the book. Reading used to put me to sleep, but now it actually keeps me awake because I don't know, something has switched in my brain, and now I just want all the books. So ignore the mess here. This is my collection of books. It's a work in progress because I have ordered more books. I've also just got my first Kindle as well, so I'm excited to try and use that. And I must say, the book that got me back into reading was, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but the book that got me back into reading was the one and only Sarah J. Maas, A Court of Thorn and Roses. Ever since then, I've picked up that series, and like I said, something switched in my brain, and now I couldn't put those books down, but now I'm on a fantasy romance, I'm on a dark romance journey. That is and a bit of sci-fi. So that is my themes, my reading themes that I'm sticking with when I buy books. So, of course, BookTube and BookTok has sucked me in. That's where I find all of the best book recommendations. When I'm at home, because I'm kind of by myself, when I'm at home, I like to keep my mind occupied and busy, and colouring and reading and all those fun, amazing hobbies kind of do that for me. So this is where I'm at right now. I thought, yeah, I would try a reading vlog. So I thought the book series I would try, and you can judge me on this, that's fine, but the book series I'm trialing is the Twilight book series. So I have them all here, ready to go. Just to step back, I missed out on the whole Twilight thing. I saw the first movie and thought it was okay, but I've heard the books are better. And of course, I'm in my reading zone at the moment, so I want to read this series. I'm putting reading the Zodiac Academy on hold, and I've only just finished the first book. So I'm putting that series on hold to read the Twilight series. I don't know if this is going to be a phase. This is just me picking up the books because I love fantasy and vampires and magic and all that stuff. I kind of know what Twilight's about, but kind of don't. Throughout this whole reading experience, or this reading vlog, you'll get to hear my thoughts and opinions on each of the book. And like I said, I'm new to the reading world. My channel's not that big, so if you care to see my thoughts and opinions, then stick around for this video. I don't know how long it'll take me to complete each book. I'm not a fast reader, and my schedule and my time doesn't allow me to read all the time. So I'm going to see how this goes. I feel like the whole world has probably read Twilight books. So I'm probably going to make this a spoiler video, just a heads up. And I know I'm late to the trend. I'm always late to trends, but that's how I do life. I'm a rambler if you haven't noticed. So I am going to start this vlog and I'll see you guys somewhere along the line. Just as a side note, please ignore this mess here, this monstrosity of a mess, because this is how out of control I'm getting with my books. I'm running out of room. There is a new bookshelf to build, so me and my friend are going to do that tomorrow. We're going to have a day of drinking apple martinis and building a new bookshelf for this monstrosity here. But that's where I am in my book world at the moment. Let's get cozy with some Twilight. Oh my god, my face looks really red in this. Promise you I'm not sunburnt or anything. I don't know why it's really red. I'm at my desk. I need my reading glasses. And we will start with the first Twilight. So I finished the first chapter, so I thought I'd do a check-in, but so far it's okay. So I'm about 25 pages in and I've actually made a post-it note. So all that I've put on my post-it note is the names of the Cullens, because my memory's shocking. And there's quite a few of them, so I need to write this down. So I wish I didn't see the movie first, because all I'm picturing is Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson. Pattinson? Yeah. And when I read a book, I'm very visual. I like to kind of picture these people in my head, especially even in the first chapter. Stephanie is very descriptive of how the brothers and sisters look. So I wish I didn't, you know, put the movie and the book together, because yeah, in my head I like to picture how lands look and people look, especially if they're really descriptive in the book. But never mind, that's not going to ruin the experience for me. And it's funny because I remember bits and pieces from the movie. I shouldn't really compare this book to the movie, but I saw the movie ages ago. I haven't revisited the movie since, so I remember bits and pieces of it. But one scene that did stand out for me was them all in the cafeteria. So again, when that scene was written about, that what was going through my head in the school cafeteria when they're all there. That's not good or bad. I'm just saying what's going through my head when Stephanie describes it and the pictures I'm seeing. I don't really have much to say about the first chapter. It's just an introduction to all the characters and the school and the vibe. Yeah. I've decided though, before I start the second chapter, I'm going to make a cup of tea though. Just as a side note, someone is in my reading chair, Cosmo. This is usually my reading chair, but at the moment it's Cosmo's chair. So I'm sitting at my desk. It's my favorite time of night. Cup of tea time. So of course I I'm going to have my witch's brew mug for my tea. And the tea that I'm drinking is, it's white tea. I love white tea. I like green tea, but I like white tea as well. This has become a bit of a ritual for me at night. It just helps me unwind. It's not a calming tea or anything. It's along the lines of green tea. My night is set now. So it's the next day and I'm checking in. I'm checking in now because I don't know, so it's Friday today and I'm working a late early shift over the weekend. I don't know when I'll be able to check in with this Twilight vlog. I've got a few things to do now. I'm going to check in and then I've got a parcel to unbox with you. So I'll start with where I'm up to with the Twilight book. I'm still up to book 1. I'm only up to chapter 5 and there's nothing really to comment. I'm doing little post-it notes, but we're up to the bit where Bella had the car accident and, or the car accident, the van kind of slammed into her, but then Edward, I call him Edward, saved her. So she ended up in hospital and she's all like, why did you move that quickly? You were over there, then you were over near me. And he's like, I was next to you the whole time. But then in chapter 4, yeah, Edward's still just playing hot and cold games. And we're up to the bit now where Bella doesn't want to go to the spring dance. And Edward has offered her a lift to Seattle. That's my progress. And so far, I'm really liking it. I'm really liking Stephanie Meyer's writing and the way she describes the characters and even the buildings in this book. It's a vibe. Anyway, I'm going to show you what me and my friend achieved today. He came over to help me build my bookshelf, which I mentioned at the beginning of the vlog. And I will show you. Let me just turn things around. Okay, so this bookshelf is much tidier. That's my original one, which you saw at the beginning. And then this one is the star of the show. So this is my new bookshelf. This is just the standard IKEA bookshelf, but it is so much better. Like, I'm obsessed with how it looks. I think it's called the Billy bookshelf and I'm loving it. My whole book collection there, and then there's Sailor Moon because I love Sailor Moon. And then if we go over here, there is more Sailor Moon and of course a vinyl of Taylor Swift. That's one of my favorite albums, Lover. And then we have more Sailor Moon figures here just because, and there's more on the way. So I've loved Sailor Moon. And I actually do have some of the comics of Sailor Moon down there. That's my comics section there. Anyway, so we built that today and the apple martinis definitely helped. It's actually a bit annoying that these two bookshelves don't match, but somewhere along the line I will get another one when my finances allow me to. So this one will have to do for now. And then I have a little poof there as well. So I've got my poof and my reading chair. I don't know if I like it there. Okay, so the last bit of tonight's vlog is an unboxing. And I just got this parcel today. And I know what it is. So we're going to unbox this together because it is kind of reading book related. And I found these on eBay. There's a bit of a story behind these books. And again, this dates back to when I was a little girl. I used to hang out with this other girl, like we were best friends. But she was the one who was always reading books. And I read, but I wasn't really into reading. But she was a massive reader. And I remember she was reading these Star Wars books, and I was like, ugh, I gave her like a bit of a hard time. It's like, are you reading again? I'm like, why don't you come outside and play? Why are you reading again? As, you know, kids do. But she had, like, I remember in her room, she had all these Star Wars books. And I'm like, oh my God, what were those books about? Like, why was she so obsessed with them? Anyway, and it just, I remembered that memory last week. So I went on eBay and I looked for these Star Wars books and I found some. So I've just unboxed this here. The only thing is, if I do read these books, I don't know if they're like part of a series, because I think this is just a random selection. I don't actually know if it's in consecutive series or what these books are. But anyway, I was just so excited to find some on eBay. Yeah, it does say book 3. Okay, so it is in a series, but I'm hoping if I like read them, then it'll kind of be okay, but we'll see. And then there was this one, because I just went on eBay and was like, yep, I'll just get that pile of books. And then, oh my God, this is so cool. She often read the X-Wing series, book 3. But these are exactly how I remember these. And then there's this. Oh, this is so cool. You know how you just find those books from your childhood? Whoop. Star Wars, the Crystal Star. I mean, I love Star Wars. And they're like in pretty good condition. Obviously, you know, they've aged a little bit. Because when were these books published? 1996. Yeah. So I would have been 9 years old. Yeah. So I will have to update you if it is in series, if these books follow one another or if they're just random books. Oh, this is the coolest thing. Oh, these are more books on the TBR. But hopefully they should be a quick read. Yeah. So that was all the books. I think there was about 14 of them. So I bought this chunk and then I bought another chunk as well. I just went crazy on eBay. That was my little unboxing. But I also wanted to show you my Kindle, which I just got as well. Alright, so I've managed to squeeze in all the Star Wars books here. But I'm so excited that I have some of these. Oh, how funny. It's funny how things just turn around now. Like, I'm the one who wants to read the Star Wars books. Like, life is funny that way. What I wanted to show you guys is my Kindle. So I got my Kindle last week. But how cute is my cover? And it's got a little thing here which you can hold, because I catch the tram to work. So I've got a Kindle so I can read books on the tram instead of taking, you know, the chunky books which take up a lot of space in my bag. So I'm happy that I got this, but I haven't really downloaded any books yet. And I got the Kindle in denim. It's the denim color. So I am super happy about that. So maybe he can live there because that just looks so cute. All right. Hi, guys. So I think it's been a few days, as in we've had, well, I worked the weekend and then it's now Monday. So I did work today as well. So I finished at 5. I just came home and cooked dinner, and it's about 8:45. So I'm about to settle in for the night. And by settling in, I mean not going to bed, but reading some more of Twilight. There's not really much to check in. I think the last time I checked in, I just finished chapter 5. So I'm only a few pages in chapter 6. Hopefully I can read a bit more tonight. I am on call for the hospital tonight, so we'll see how much I can actually read. Hopefully I won't be called in, and then throughout the rest of the night, hopefully I can just sleep and wake up tomorrow and be all refreshed and not called in. I've got my cup of tea and I'm just gonna continue reading. You know what, I really don't like these on-call nights, because sometimes I'm not called in, sometimes I am. Like, it depends on the night, depends what comes through the hospital. But all you pretty much do is sit around and wait for the phone. Like, you could I still do stuff around the house, but, you know, it's a Monday night, like, I don't really have much planned. I don't like just sitting around and just waiting for the phone call. And you never sleep properly either. Well, for me, I don't sleep properly when I'm on call. Like, I sleep, but then I wake up going, oh my God, did I miss a phone call? Or you look at the time, and yeah, it just plays with your mind a bit. So I'm not a fan of the on-call. But it is what it is. It's part of my nursing job at the moment, so little distraction. I'm just replying to my Hinge message. This is what my life is. I've had to resort to dating apps, and I'm not a fan of them. Here we are. You've got to be in it to win it, I guess, or not win it. I've been on and off with the whole dating apps thing, and it's just, let's just say it's not been a great experience. I'm persevering through. Anyway, I'll just finish this message and then I'll keep reading. Morning, guys. It's the next morning. And thank God I didn't get caught in, but I didn't sleep. I was awake. I've been awake since 4 a.m. Here we are, and I'm just going to get ready. I won't have time to read any more Twilight today. Well, I might later tonight, but today me and my mum are going to the show. The show is in town in my city, so I'm gonna just quickly put on a bit of face for that. And all I've done to my face is I've just put some of my eye cream on, Cetaphil eye cream and Cetaphil daily moisturizer. This has a bit of sunscreen in it because I'll be out and about all day. So I just wanted to put some protection on my face. The eyeshadow palette I'm using is my Tarte in Bloom palette. I love this palette. Let's go, because I need to go. This is the final makeup look. I need to do my hair. Just a very light bit of makeup today. Oh, hi. I am back from the show. So it's about after 7 o'clock. So me and Mum were there for a good 6 hours. And we just ate, we just walked around. And I thought I would do a little haul for you guys. So I did buy some really nice stuff. And I bought some ridiculous stuff, as you do at like a carnival or a show. It's full of greasy, delicious food and show bags and rides, but Mum wouldn't go on any rides with me. Never mind. I'm on a sugar high because I'll tell you what I ate. I ate chip on a stick, I had a Dagwood dog, I had ice cream, I had souvlaki, I had hot cinnamon donuts, I had coffee. Oh my god, I totally pigged out today. Worth it. So I'll show you what I bought. I've just got the bags down here. So we'll start off with this beanie. So me and Mum stopped at the fruit choc stand. She got some fruit chocs and I saw this beanie and I love beanies, so I'll be wearing that next winter. Raspberry jam. So they also have like kind of market stalls there with all local products. Like they had honey wax, beeswax products. They had like jewelry stands, all these, you know, wine stands, gin stands, cheese stands, you know, all those beautiful, amazing local, well, not just local, like Australian made product set. I'd sampled this was absolutely divine, and I got some of this tomato chutney as well. So we stopped at like this gin and whiskey bar thing they had there, and gin I don't mind, I drink it, but I'm getting into the whiskies and I have my uncle to blame for that. So they had these here, and what this is like a pre-made cocktail whiskey thing, and they had all different flavors. Like the ones I sampled, I tried the, was it salted caramel whiskey cocktail? So all you do is just pour it. You can have it over ice, or you can mix it with something else. And then I tried the, what's this one? The old fashioned. So this is local from the Adelaide Hills, and this one was so tasty. So I have a feeling this will be my summer drink, and it says shake and pour over ice, and this went down smoothly. Makes 14 cocktails. Chesterfield whiskey firm, and from the whiskey place they gave us 2 of these for free, and it's infused cocktail honey. Oh, it's orange flavored. So it says add to your cocktail creation or over cheese. Well, that might be nice. You know, all the stalls are just those little wholesome market stalls, and they had samples everywhere, so we got to try some olive spreads. Mum bought some olive spreads, some dukkha, which was amazing. She also bought some cauliflower pickle spread stuff, which she really likes. Yeah, It was just such a tasty afternoon. And then in this bag, I did also buy, I was supposed to eat it, but I just ate too much. I bought a toffee apple because you have to do that when you're at the show, but I might put it away for later. I love toffee apples. They are my favorite. I bought this show bag. So they have all sorts of show bags there. Like they have Cadbury show bags, Hubba Bubba show bags, Barbie show bags, all these other Pokemon show bags. But this Pokemon show bag is full of Pokemon cards, which I'm a Pokemon card collector. I'm a massive Pokemon fan. This started since day one it came out back in the late 90s. I was obsessed with it, but I saw this Pokemon show bag, Pokemon cards show bag. So I'll show you what you get. You get the deck, so you get a Gengar deck box, and then you get, so this is it's a little card holder. Actually, I'm going to open this because I want to see what big cards I got. But we get Pikachu, we get Totodile. I already have these large ones, but there's nothing wrong with having some spares. And Chikorita, sorry, Chikorita. That was Chikorita. This is Cyndaquil. So this is the second generation of Pokemon. So I know these ones very well. And then you get some sort of, you get the oversized card checklist here. So you can tick them off. And then this was the big folder. So, so this is just for the big cards, which is good because I actually do need one of these. And then you get, so that's one pack. So you get 5 booster packs of Pokemon cards, and then we get, we get 100 card sleeves, which you can never have too many of. And then the last thing is just a little sticker set. So I couldn't help myself with this. And they had a big Pokemon stall there with all the plushies, and I was like, I could have spent hours in there, but Mum was like, you don't need any more Pokemon stuff. I was like, alright, Mum, whatever. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take off my makeup, get changed into my comfy clothes, and read more Twilight. Oh, hi. I've just finished work. It's about 9 o'clock at night. I did a 12 to 8:30 shift, so I've come home and fed the cat. And of course, when you get home from work, you're always a bit snacky and hungry. Because it's really annoying at my work, or on that shift, you kind of have to have like an early dinner at about 4:30 because of the way everyone goes home in the roster is. So it's best to do it at that time anyway, to make the shift go smoother. You eat dinner at 4:30. So of course, when you come home this time, you are peckish. So I'm just eating my, not that this is a dinner at all. I got these at the show. There's a raspberry licorice twist. Oh, so good. I just like that. They are so good. So I'll probably have a few of these. And then I want to read some more of Twilight. Now there is a bit of an update because I've actually read a big chunk. But I just want to show you. My mum is the sweetest mum. I love her so much. She went to Costco for the first time today. And she bought all the Costco things. So here there's artichokes. Let me get something. She's bought pickles. I've never had a jar this big of pickles. I mean, we love pickles, so they won't go to waste. But she bought a big jar. Now, I've never been to Costco, so I don't know what it's like. But she's also bought me, I got home, and these are on my bed. These are a pack of 72 Statler pencils. I've never tried these. I don't know what they're like, but I want to trial these on one of my colour and chats that I'm going to do. If you can hear banging, that is from the showgrounds. As I mentioned previously, earlier this week we went to the show, and you can literally hear and see the fireworks from my house. So it's not gunshots, it's just fireworks. But how sweet is that? I'm like, thanks, Mum. She knows what I like. I'm gonna get undressed, maybe make a cup of tea, and read some more Twilight. Twilight update. I am up to page 225. From the time I left off, I think it was about chapter 6 or 7. Chapter 6. It's not so much thoughts and opinions, it's just what's happened. Jacob and Bella have become friends, and Jacob starts telling Bella about the werewolf situation. He also tells her about vampires. Then in the next chapter, Bella starts to question things. Thoughts are running through her mind, and she is researching vampires. And then she gets upset when Edward doesn't turn up at school. And then we have the little event that happened in Port Angeles, where Ed comes to the rescue, of course. Bella gets into a bit of a situation with these guys that start hassling her and following her. And, of course, Ed is in the same area. So Ed, I call him Ed just because I can't be bothered writing Edward. It sounds so dumb. When Bella questions Edward, he acts all mysterious, like about him being a vampire. He acts all mysterious and doesn't really answer the questions. So at this point, we don't know that Ed's a vampire, but then in the next chapter, he admits that he is a vampire, and Bella has just so many questions. So, oh my God, did you hear that yelling? That's Mum. And she's watching the football, and it's the finals, and her team is playing Sydney. Carlton is playing Sydney, and I think they're losing. You know, Carlton were getting so close. Like, they're playing in the finals, and I don't know how it's going. I'm not actually watching this game tonight, but I'm hearing it from Mum. We have so many questions about Edward being a vampire. Bella and Edward are getting more intimate and close. Like, they're going out for dinner, and they just want to be around each other all the time. But he's saying that he's dangerous, and that he's no good for Bella, and that her theories are true on him being a vampire. Then we just have their relationship developing a bit more. And I kind of like, I've written here that I love Edward's mystery. It's kind of hot. I love that mysterious, even though it's frustrating, I kind of like that mysterious vibe about Edward, even though he is playing games. See that? Just kick it. Edward, it's kind of hot. I'm kind of digging his whole, vampy, mysterious vibe. But yeah, Edward and Bella's relationship is developing, which I'm kind of here for. I kind of do ship that. There's only been a little turn of events where it's just we know he's a vampire and his whole family is different. He also mentions in this chapter, in chapter 11, that he doesn't want her around when he's hunting because he can get very dangerous. So that's all he's mentioned there. I'm up to where they are going. So she's not going to the dance. Bella's not going to the dance. her and Edward are going to Seattle. But then I don't think they're actually going to Seattle. He's taking her somewhere else. So they're spending the weekend together. So that's where I'm up to. And I'm actually really enjoying this. This is a very light and easy read so far. I don't actually know if I'll have, because it's Friday, I don't know if I'll have time to read tomorrow. That's why I want to try and finish at least 2 or 3 chapters tonight, because I've got birthdays and stuff tomorrow. So maybe Sunday, maybe Monday, we'll see what happens. Hi guys, I am just checking in here because it's been 2 days since I last vlogged. So Friday night I vlogged, Saturday, yesterday. I don't have any Twilight updates because I said I would read a few pages or chapters after I got home from work Friday. That never happened. I was just too tired after my shift from work. And then yesterday, Saturday, I said I was going out for a friend's birthday. We went to the Frida Kahlo exhibition in our art gallery here. And then we just went back to her house she just had some of her close friends come over, and we just had drinks and food, and it was like a really nice evening. So I didn't really get to read my Twilight. And today, so you can see that I'm playing Spyro the Dragon. Look, there he is. Hi. Oh, because I woke up this morning and I scrolled on Instagram, as you do some days, and I saw PlayStation said it was Spyro's birthday. Yes, it is his 25th anniversary release. So this was released in 1998, and I was there from day one. I was playing Spyro on my PlayStation 1 and I absolutely loved it. I thought it was the best game ever. So as you can see, I'm a big Spyro fan here. That got me in the mood to play Spyro. So I'm just playing on my Switch here, but I also have Spyro on PS4. I just love him so much. So I'm so happy that PlayStation and Switch re-released Spyro, because it is the best game ever. I commented on Instagram, I'm like, yes, I've been here since day one, and I'm like, this is the best comfort game ever. So I'm playing Spyro today because it's his 25th anniversary release date on this day, which is the 10th. So I don't actually know if it was yesterday or today, but I'm hoping to play Spyro for a few hours, and then I do want to read later this evening. And I'm just about to enter my favorite level. So I'm in the Artisan's World, which is the first world, and I'm just about to enter Dark Hollow. You can tell I get sentimental over old school video games. Also have Crash Bandicoot on the Switch. I love that game as well. I have all these other Switch games, and I've got Fae Farm coming tomorrow, which I'm most excited about because I've heard good things about Fae Farm. I've had to turn the volume down because I do not want to get copyrighted for anything. Oh. Sometimes it's really hard to kill these guys. This is my favorite level. Was it Dark Hollow? It's a very chill Sunday. Cleaned up a bit, so I thought I would have a bit of Spyro time. I just love this game so much. I've replayed it so many times and I never ever get sick of it. I know I look appalling right now. I'm in my pajamas just because it's late-ish. For the past 2 days, I have been off sick from work. I got some sort of food poisoning. That's what I'm putting it down to. So I went to work Monday. Was it Monday? No, Tuesday. Yesterday. It was a morning shift. And I was actually feeling okay when I woke up. But then 2 hours later, I got the sweats. I started to feel nauseated. And I just threw up in the bathroom at work. I was like, oh my God, I have not had a stomach bug for ages. I'm not pregnant, by the way. Trust me, I am not pregnant. That's what everyone thought at work. I'm like, pretty sure I'm not. Pretty sure you have to be doing something to get pregnant, which I am certainly not. TMI, by the way. TMI. So I went home sick from work. I got some hydrolyte stuff, which is magic. And for the past 2 days, I have just been drinking hydrolyte. And I'm slowly feeling better today. But even when I woke up this morning, I still had a bad tummy. Let's put it that way. Of course, when you're homesick from work, you have to finish your Twilight book, which is exactly what I've done. So this is what this check-in is about. And so I've been reading Twilight, but I've also been playing Fae Farm, which I've just bought for my Switch, and I absolutely love that game. Oh my God, I'm getting into it now, and it's just been so much fun. Even today, I had a really bad stomach, and this evening, I've only just started to feel better, but I still feel a bit seasick and queasy. I blame it on the salmon that I cooked. I cooked some salmon for me and Mum, and I found out when I got home from work that day, she also felt really, really nauseous that night. Like later that night, I cooked the salmon. I don't know if it is the salmon, but that's what I blame. See what happens when I cook? Honestly. Let's get into my thoughts on Twilight. Now, what I've done is throughout the whole book, I don't know if I've shown you this, I've actually left some post-it notes. You probably can't see that properly. It's just a recap of everything that's happened in the chapters because my memory is terrible. So after every chapter, I've just been taking notes. All I can say about this book is I liked it. I'm giving it between a 3.8 and a 4, but I don't know if it's quite high enough for a 4. I think I might give it a 3.8. Is that allowed? Can you give it 3.8 stars out of 5? I don't know. You can in my scoring system. Here it is. I'm officially giving this a 3.8. It's not quite a 4 because even though I enjoyed it, it wasn't anything amazing and life-changing, but it was a good read. It was a cozy read. Let's put it that way. I like the way Stephanie describes, the forest, the school, the houses. I like her descriptive language. I'm actually kind of really liking Edward and how he's so romantic. He's just so in love with her and she's in love with him. Like, I've really enjoyed watching their relationship grow, and he would do anything to protect her. But one thing I didn't really like, and it kind of gave me a bit of an ick, this is why it's probably 3.8, is that they just fell in love super quickly. And in my mind, that doesn't happen in the real world. Well, it might, but it hasn't happened to me, so I'm just basing this on my experience. but I've actually known people where they have fallen in love quickly, I guess. So it can happen. But it kind of gave me, yeah, a bit of an ick. Not in a bad way. I don't know. Some days I really liked reading about them and how they fell in love so quickly. But then other days it really pissed me off. However, at the end of the book, I really like how their relationship developed and how it's coming to life. I'm loving the vampire vibe. I'm loving the whole Twilight vibe. So there's not many bad things to say about this book, even though I'm still only giving it a 3.8. Bella, I like Bella, but then at times she's pissing me off and I can't put my finger on it. And I think for a teenage read, this would have been the bomb, and I wish I did read this when I was a teenager. A woman in my 30s reading Twilight. I will accept this is how my life is right now. This is a pretty straightforward book. You get an introduction to how these vampires are living in the real world, which I like they're going to school, they're going to prom, they're going to her mother's house, they're going, you know, just, they're trying to live in the real world, which makes it more relatable. It's perfect for when you get home from work and you just want to breeze through something. I liked it. It was enjoyable. Nothing too complicated. Like I said, straightforward vampire romance book. Teenage vampire romance, I should say. Even though Edward's like 100 years old or however old he is. I like that aspect of it. Vampires like to play baseball. I thought that was random, but in a good way. I think the story kept me hooked as well, and I'm actually excited to read New Moon. So they're my final thoughts on Twilight, and I'm going to get started on New Moon. Here we go. New Moon. Oh my god, you guys. So as you've just seen, I've just started New Moon, and I'm on page 6, and I've just started. I'm up to chapter 1, but look, it mentions that Bella's birthday, she looked at the date today, it was September 13th, and look at today's date. I started New Moon on September 13th. Like, how cool is that? I love little coincidences like that. Okay, I'm going to continue reading. Alrighty, another check-in. It's been a minute. I think the last time I checked in with you guys was last week. So it's been a week. The last time I had food poisoning, which was about a week ago. So I'm here to do my Twilight check-in. But also, I want to show a little book haul that I've been doing over the past few weeks. So there's a lot of books here, but these have been over the past few weeks. And I know these books were coming. Rather than me showing you one by one, I thought I'd just do them all at once. So, where do I start? I might start with New Moon update. So, I'm about 122 pages in. The last time I checked with you guys, I was at page 26, so up to chapter 2. And I know that because I leave my tabs a certain way. So now I'm up to chapter 6, I think. 5 or 6. Chapter 6. Just at the beginning of chapter 6. The last time I checked in was Bella's birthday. And Bella was at the house, Edward's house, and she got a paper cut, and Jasper went for her. And everyone was upset by this. Jasper was extremely upset. Bella was upset. The whole Cullen family was upset. And then Carlisle had to stitch Bella up. So there's that. And then they had like a little bonding session. I'm just reading my notes so I don't miss anything. But then in chapter 3, this is a big chapter. Ed is acting all not himself, and Bella's like, what are you doing? Why are you acting so me? And Ed announces that he's moving, like his family's moving. They're moving to LA. And he does the whole, or he brings up again the whole, well, I'm not good for you, Bella. My family isn't good for you. Look what happened. But Bella's like, I love you. I don't care about all that. What matters is I'm with you. And then with that, Bella goes to the woods where they broke up, and she collapses, and her dad sends out a whole search party for her. And of course he finds her in the woods. So we've got October, November, I like that, December, January, and then after that, her dad is worried about Bella. He understands that she's going through a breakup still because she just lost the love of her life, but he's worried that she's acting really mopey, and all he wants for her is to be happy and to get out the house and socialize with her friends. So Bella does that. She catches up with Jess, and the night doesn't go so great. And I'm up to the bit now where she's just bought 2 motorbikes, and she goes to Jacob's house. He is helping her fix her 2 motorbikes because she bought some dodgy ones. Not dodgy, just not working properly. So he fixes cars. So that's where we're up to. So yeah, I'm liking it, and I can't wait to see which direction this book will go. Enough on that. Okay, let's get into the haul. Okay, so while we're on the topic of Twilight, I did something really stupid. Well, to me it's not stupid, but eBay is a bad place. So for $30, I rebought all of the Twilight books. This was $30. So I'm like, not too bad for all 5 books. So I know you're like, Mona, are you crazy? Like, what are you doing? However, I really wanted my edition of the first Twilight book. So just Twilight. All those years ago, I can't remember what year, probably when Twilight first came out and you could buy it everywhere. I remember buying my copy at Target or Big W, one of those department stores. I remember buying a special edition of Twilight, and I never read it. This is how ridiculous I am. All those years ago, 2006, I had a copy, and somewhere along the line, I remember giving it to the Salvation Army, which is like our secondhand shop, because I think it's while I was moving house. I was doing a big cleanup, and I'm like, I don't read that, I don't read that, I don't read that. So I remember Twilight was in that part. So on eBay, I can't remember what I looked up, but it was old editions of Twilight. Not so much first copies, just old editions of Twilight. I know it's the old edition of Twilight because the new ones are smaller. And as you can see, this one is quite bigger, which is what I remember the old Twilight books being. And by old, I wish I could remember the year, but it must have been around 2006, 2007. And I remember buying it all those years ago because I'm like, I just want to see what it's like. Everyone's talking about it, but I never read it. and it just sat on my shelf for years and years. So same artwork, same cover, just I know it's bigger. But it came with this bookmark. And the books are in pretty good condition, except for, I mean, they're a bit aged. Like you probably cannot tell in this lighting, but they're a bit darkened, which is fine. It's like they've been out in the sun, and there's a few splash marks of something. You probably cannot see that at all. Yeah, but otherwise all 5 books are in good condition. Now, what I've noticed is Twilight and, oh, that's a big one. Twilight and Breaking Dawn are the same size. So they're the big ones. New Moon and Eclipse are small. eBay New Moon is the same size as my current New Moon. However, I've just noticed, is that eBay New Moon is thicker. It is a little thicker. So the older editions are thicker. And because there's 5 books, for some reason, the little novella, The Short Second Life of Britannia, I have no idea who that is. So this one is a hard copy. So you've got the red in there, which is fine. I don't know why that one's a hard copy. It's just the way it was. But for $30, I'm like, you can't really go wrong for all 5 books. So I was quite happy with that. I'm just happy I got my original edition of Twilight. Well, not my one, but you know what I mean. So now I have 3 copies of the whole Twilight series, because I don't know if I've shown you, I also have the white, which is up here. I have the white covers of the whole Twilight saga, because I'm just ridiculous. That is that edition. And it was so funny because at the time I'm like, I better freaking love these books because I've just bought 2 series of them. I am liking them, so no regrets with this book series. Does anyone else do that? Do they just buy book series that they've never even read, but they have to have the whole series hoping that they would like it? I've done that so many times, and I'll show you what I mean, because in this book haul, you can judge me on this. You can totally judge me on this. I don't care. I bought the 50 Shades trilogy, and yes, I know it's 50 Shades. I have not seen the movie. Kind of similar to Twilight, I want to read the books first and then maybe never watch the movie. But that's another example of when I buy book series without even knowing that if I'll like it or not. And I always think, hey, if I don't like it, I can always kind of resell them maybe, or give them to the secondhand stores, or just give them away. I'm not bothered. Other books that I've bought, continuing on my Zodiac Academy series. So I've got books 1, 2, and 3. I've bought book 4 and 5. I'm so excited because these are so thick. And I cannot wait to jump back in to read these. So that's in the haul. These aren't books, but I thought I'd just show you anyway. So I've already opened the packet. I bought more post-it notes because of, as you saw in my, for this Twilight read, I like to leave notes and thoughts on the book. And I'm actually really enjoying that process because it's actually helping me remember stuff. I wanted some pastel colors, so you get a gray and you get like a blue. Take it all out. These are the colors you get, like a pink and another pink, purple and green. I don't know if you can see it well in that lighting. Also bought a nice pack of pens, beautiful ink pens. These write really beautifully. Does anyone else do this as well? This is how ridiculous I am. I pre-ordered a book a month or two ago. I forgot I pre-ordered it. And now I've got 2 copies of the book because I went and ordered the book and I didn't realize I freaking pre-ordered it. This is all off Amazon. So now I have 2 copies of the things we left behind. Oh, God. But what am I going to do with 2 copies? I could just return one. Yeah, I might just return one. Okay, well, that's sorted. I read, what's the first one called? That is behind me as well. Things We Never Got Over. I really liked it. And I was in Costco today. I've never been to Costco. I was just having a quick browse today and I found the complete collection of Original Tales by Beatrix Potter. I have been eyeing this off for so many years. So you get all 23 books. So it comes like that. It's the classic Beatrix Potter I remember as a little girl. Classic little Beatrix Potter. And it's so funny because these books are so small now, but when you're younger, they're quite big. Just, I love her art. Her art is so wholesome and warming. Yeah. Oh, yes, Mr. McGregor and Peter Rabbit. And there's actually a few books which I haven't read. But this is how I remember Beatrix Potter books. I'm so excited. I saw it. I'm like, I couldn't resist. That was the end of my book haul. I've just finished filming that book haul. And I said I was getting changed into my pajamas, which I am right here. My Nana Flowery pajamas. I'm about to eat this white chocolate tart. It's got like raspberries on it. Mum bought it as a little special something for me. And I've got my cup of tea. Oops. And I'm about to dive in New Moon. So this is how I'm spending my... There's Beatrice. Hi, Beatrice. Oh, no. This is how I'm spending my Wednesday nights. And I better go because she will probably eat that. Hey, guys. Oh, my God. I've just woken up. It's about 12:30 in the afternoon and it is now Monday and I work night duty, Saturday, Sunday, night duty all weekend. And I've just woken up. That's why I look absolutely shocking. But I did want to do a little check-in with you guys. Yeah, because I have made a bit of progress on New Moon. But first, I need a coffee and a bit of food and hydration. Because every time I wake up after night duty, you just feel... It's like you feel hungover, but without the alcohol. So you feel sluggish. I actually do have a little bit of a headache, but I know that's from dehydration and lack of sleep. What I plan to do today is go for a little walk. The weather is absolutely beautiful outside, but we'll see. I'm always so lazy after I wake up from night duty. So we'll see if I'm feeling motivated after a coffee and some food. I don't have a glamorous morning routine or wake up routine. Like, I just find it so funny how people film these morning routines when, I don't know, but that's not my morning routine. And I get it. I get the whole aesthetic with the morning routine, and I love watching those videos, don't get me wrong. But my morning routine is not glamorous at all. It's pretty much get out of bed, coffee, eating, showering, and then whatever I have to do for the day. But I don't have much planned for today. So hopefully I can go for a walk and read some New Moon. But first, coffee. Here are my kitties. And they're helping me. Hi, Beatrice. Beatrice, hello. Say hi. Okay. Coffee pod. It's just an espresso machine. Let's go a witch's brew mug. On, please. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Here it comes. Smells so good. Oh my god. I need to fix this. But this is reality. This is the life of a night duty nurse when she wakes up from night duty. She is going to look like a zombie. A cup of coffee is a thing of beauty. There she is. Now, I know this doesn't look too appealing at the moment, but for breakfast, I'm having some lasagna. And one of my work colleagues gave me a piece last night. So this is like just less than half, because she gave me a big slab of her lasagna, but this is her beef cheek lasagna and it smells absolutely amazing. Oh, it's hot. Amazing. This is just what I needed. I know I look like a blob, a big blob right now, but I don't care. I'm comfy and this is what we're getting tonight. I want to apologize though, because the last time I checked in was when I just woke up after night duty. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go for a walk and I'm gonna do some reading, blah, blah, blah. The walk happened. I'm quite proud of myself, but the reading didn't. I was just too tired to do anything. And when I'm tired, I don't tend to concentrate, or I don't tend to go to my book, because I need to concentrate on my reading and I want to enjoy it. And if I'm tired, then it's too hard. Anyway, let's get to the update. I am 302 pages in, which is quite a big jump. I think the last time I checked in with you guys was chapter 6, and now I am up to chapter 15. So I have read a big chunk. I find, I'll be honest, from where I left off with you guys, from now, in between, I don't know, it was just really slow, and it was just about Jacob and Bella, and you see their friendship developing, and Jacob likes Bella, but Bella doesn't like Jacob in that way. You can tell she's just still hooked up on Edward, but he's left the scene now. From, I guess, chapter 6 to now, I don't know, it was kind of like a slow moving period. It was still interesting. It dragged on. And I realized that Jacob was, he was really close with Bella, but now he kind of went away from her because he had this secret that he's keeping. Obviously, he's a werewolf. We find out that he is a werewolf now. And him and his squad are just trying to deal with that. At first, his squad was like, oh, why did you bring Bella along? Blah, blah, blah. But now that she's kind of worked her way in with Jacob, now they want to protect her because Victoria is after her now. And they've also killed Laurent as well to protect Bella. So that's where we're up to. And I actually don't know what is going to happen between Jacob and Bella, because one minute she's all into him and she says that he's her best friend, but then he likes her more than a friend and she knows it, but they're still hanging out. So I actually don't know where this is going to go with those two. That's where we're up to, and the story is getting good now, so I feel like I'm kind of back on track, whereas before I was just in kind of like a la land. I'm going to get back in my blog position and I'm going to do more reading. I'm a bit annoyed because this reading vlog will take a bit longer than I had hoped for. I wanted to finish all the books by the end of September, but that is not happening. I'm still only on the second book. The first book took me 2 weeks to read. I'm a bit upset with myself about that, but I'm not being too harsh on myself because life, social events, work, everything gets in the way. I'm not the fastest reader, but then I'm like, I'm just gonna enjoy the process, enjoy the books, and read at whatever pace I want to. And it's going to be October soon, which I kind of guess is perfect for these books because October is officially spooky season, Halloween season, my favorite time of year. And these books cannot be more perfect. Vampires, Twilight, werewolves, eerie forests, like, love that vibe. So I'm hoping I will finish this in October at some point, but through my nursing shifts and my social calendar and whatever, this may be a long vlog. I just realized I'm actually really bad at this whole vlogging thing. It's probably been just over a week. I just haven't picked up the camera to talk. Although there hasn't really been much to talk about. But anyway, today there is. So I'm here. I thought I would eat lunch with you guys. So I apologize if you don't like watching people eat. Won't be for very long though, because I'm going to talk about New Moon. So this is a check-in of the Twilight series. And I finally finished New Moon last night. And I just have a turkey, lettuce, pickled onion, tomato, mayo, cheese, Turkish bread roll. I love Turkish bread so much. Let's have lunch together. Just a basic roll, but it's the best. It's the Turkish bread and the mayo. Anyway, New Moon. here are my thoughts. 3 out of 5 reviews, because I just felt like it dragged on, and I realized that this book is about Bella and Jacob developing their relationship. It's about discovering Jacob is a werewolf and his progression into him being a werewolf with his other squad. He develops feelings for Bella. Bella kind of likes him, but kind of not. He is her best friend. But towards the end, he turns a bit sour because Bella and Edward end up together. And we discover this whole other gang of vampires, the Volturi in Italy. That's a whole nother thing. And now the Volturi are after Bella. So she's going to die either way. So we leave off with Edward proposing to Bella, and she has a family discussion with the Cullens to say, what do you think, guys? Is it better that you kill me or the Volturi kill me? Either way, I'm going to die. And I want to die because I want to be with Edward forever. Bella and Edward can't live without each other. And as I've mentioned before, it's kind of cute, but it does drag on a bit. There was a moment in the book where it just kind of lulled for a bit. There was stuff happening, but it wasn't enough to keep me captivated. But I had to push through because I did want to finish this book. So it's a bit of a meh kind of book. That's why it's only getting 3 stars out of 5. It wasn't my favourite. Twilight was better because there was the whole introduction to the vampires and it was a vibe, where this book is like a meh. So that's my thoughts. I'm enjoying the vibes of Twilight. And as I mentioned before, I think it's a good Halloween book because it's spooky season. So it is a good book to pick up and read for October. I'm hoping I can finish these at the end of October. But who the hell knows? I think sandwiches are my favourite snack. It's not really a snack, it's lunch. I could have a sandwich for breakfast, lunch and dinner. Dinner. Not dinner, dinner. Which one is the next book, actually? Okay, so we are now on Eclipse. And I'm hoping that this will be a better pace, but we'll see. How many pages is this? 559 pages. So it's still that was my cat. It's still the same day and it's hours and hours later. I'm just about to start Eclipse. I've finally done all my bits and pieces that I have to do. I'm sitting down with a cup of coffee and these snacks. Now, I know you're probably thinking, what TF is this? They look like little cockroaches. They're actual dates with peanut butter inside. I saw it on TikTok, but on TikTok it has peanut butter, dates, and you melt chocolate. I don't have chocolate, but the dates are sweet enough. I've tried it before and it's just so good. So I'm going to have a relaxing afternoon and hopefully start Eclipse. So good. Now I also have my post-it notes here for my little note taking. I do have grey, but I use grey for the other one, so that's out. So we might do maybe purple. I have my pen ready.
Alright, so it's time for another check-in. I just want to address by saying I know I look like absolute ass more than usual. I tested positive for COVID again. Second time lucky. I hadn't had it since 2020. And I'm assuming that I picked it up from work because in the past week I haven't really been anywhere or seen anyone apart from patients at work, at the hospital, and my colleagues. I'm assuming I picked it up from the hospital. Otherwise, I have no idea who I've been in contact with. But I tested positive yesterday, and yesterday was Friday the 13th. So that was a great day. I made a whole TikTok about it. It's so funny. I know I look terrible, but in my vlogs, I just want to keep it real with you guys. Some days I will look all made up and put together, and other days, well, we can't be put together 24/7. When we vlog as much as we'd like to. I sound like ass. I feel like ass. I can't believe I got COVID again. Like, I know it's still a thing. I know it's still around. We see it all the time at the hospital. It's just crazy that I've got COVID again. And it was the same as last time. Runny nose, sore throat, muscle aches, headache, the whole shebang. And I know some people get it worse than others. The COVID cough is no joke. I think that's the worst bit of it for me right now. Especially late night, early morning when I wake up is when the cough really hits me. My lungs, my poor lungs, I think have taken a massive hit because, yeah, the cough is pretty bad. Once you get an attack, oh my Lord. And then, you know, you get all the chest pain, all the rib pain, all the muscle pain around your diaphragm and your ribs and all that because you've just been coughing up a lung. And I'm trying to take stuff to minimize the pain and the coughing relief, but yeah, it's just really hard. It's just really hard once you get an attack. It's day 2. I tested positive yesterday, Friday the 13th. Day 2 to 3 is probably the thick of it. I remember last time the first 3 or 4 days was the worst. And the COVID brain fog is a thing as well. I normally have brain fog at the best of times, but the COVID brain fog is a whole thing. And it was so funny because when I tested myself, I took one test, like just a rat test, and I was like, saw the 2 lines. I'm like, nah, that's faulty. Surely that can't be it. I know I'm feeling off, but this is just a normal cold. And then 20 minutes later, I took another rat test, and I was like, it's the same result. I'm like, okay, this is a thing. I have the next week off work because that's the hospital policy. I'm hoping I can finally finish the Twilight series because this is getting absolutely ridiculous now. Like, it's been over a month It's taken me over a month to finish it. So I've made quite a progress in Eclipse, which is the third book. And my thoughts, so I'm on page 349. I'm not going to lie, these books, I'm kind of feeling neutral about them. I don't love them, but I don't hate them. The story to me is dragging on. I was hoping the third book would be a little better. So for the next few days, my plan is going to just rest, don't push myself too much, and finish Twilight. I'm just going to drink my cup of tea now and just sit in my blob chair like a blob and just hopefully finish this today. If I do finish this, I will check in. This is me of COVID, day 3. I am in the thick of it and I feel like real ass. I finally finished Eclipse. So I'm giving this a very generous 3 out of 5. The last 100 pages of the book is where the story got interesting and it didn't drag on and it pulled my attention in. Anyway, I'm going to read, this is my reading journal. I am getting a new reading journal because I don't like the way this one is set out. This isn't an official reading journal. This is just like a A5 notebook with, like, I don't know if you can see that, tables and whatever inside. I thought I could make it work as a reading journal, but I don't like it. So there is one which I am keeping my eye on. So hopefully when that arrives or when I purchase that, I can use this for something else. Because I'm old-fashioned and I like to write my thoughts and my star ratings. Anyway, so I thought I would read my final thoughts of Eclipse. I've mentioned that, yeah, the last 100 pages of the book is where the story got interesting. I just can't relate to Bella. I've written here, I 100% know my teenage self would absolutely love these books. I just know that. But now that I'm a woman in my 30s, I can't relate to Bella. I can actually relate to Edward and the fathers, and it's funny, I can relate to all the other characters, but the main character, Bella, I just can't relate to. I've written that she is too mopey, and the fact that she can't do anything without Edward is getting really irritating and gives me the ick. And it's so funny because when she says it, it's so annoying. But when Edward says, I can't live without you, it's so funny. I find it romantic and I can tolerate it from Edward. Whereas Bella, it just irritates me. I honestly don't know what Edward and Jacob see in Bella. I just don't get it because she is a mopey teenage high school girl who is just so plain Jane. I do not understand what they see in her because I know she's in high school, so she's just figuring out who she is and blah 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 blah. And I'm only putting up with her because she is part of the story. To me, she's not a very inspirational female main character. She's got no balls, no determination, and she doesn't really know what she wants. Well, I correct myself. She kind of knows what she wants. She pretty much wants to die so she can be a vampire like Edward. Sorry. I think that's why I like or prefer Edward, because he's just mature and he keeps his cool about situations. And he can climb through my window any time of day or night. Yes, I am Team Edward. What else have I written? So they finally killed Victoria. I honestly don't know what is going to happen in the next book. So the next book I have here, and that is Breaking Dawn. I know at some point Edward and Belle are going to get married as well. Actually, there is one thing which I found absolutely amazing. Let me just find it. It's where Edward wrote a love note. He had to go somewhere and he left a note on her pillow. He's like, I'll be back soon, so you won't have time to miss me. Look after my heart. I left it with you. Like, I know that's the most cheesiest thing, but I am an old school cheesy romantic at times. Like, I just love that. I would love that if somebody wrote that on my pillow. I will make a start on Breaking Dawn. We are on the home stretch. I've got my post-it notes here. And I have... So I'm not going to use grey, because I've already used grey. And I'm not going to use purple, because I've already used that. I might go the pale pink, the pastel pink. Reading corner. I'm in my pajamas. I'm still in my COVID isolation. Round 2 of COVID has been no joke. Like I've said, it's really hit me this time. And yeah, don't recommend. Anyway, so this check-in. I'm doing a check-in now because I'm almost finished Breaking Dawn. I've probably only got about 60 more pages to go. I really want to finish this tonight because then I've got that Twilight novella to read and then I'm done. I will say that I am enjoying this book. Like, this book is engaging and I am enjoying it, and I actually can't wait to see what the ending is. So what I'll do is I'll finish reading this and then I will give my final thoughts on Breaking Dawn. It's getting good now. So the Volturi they're all in the clearing and they've come for the child. Next chapter. It's the next day. I finished Breaking Dawn last night, as you saw. I was supposed to do a check-in straight after I finished, but my battery died and I didn't charge my spare battery. See, this is why I'm not good at vlogging, because I'm not camera prepared at all times. And by the time I finished this book, it was honestly midnight. I finished it, wrote down my thoughts or my review, and I went to bed. So here we go. Here's my final thoughts on Breaking Dawn. I've given this a 4 out of 5 because I really
enjoyed this book. It loses points because I found that it was a bit anticlimactic with the whole Volturi thing. For the last half of the book, it was the Volturi coming for the baby, wanting to destroy the baby because they think it was going to be evil and it was not allowed vampire babies. That's my understanding. So it was this whole build-up. But then when the Volturi actually came, it was like many discussions. The Cullens had to witness or had to prove that the baby was not going to be evil or was not going to be a threat to expose the vampire world to the human world. Towards the end, there was a big hype of them coming. And then when they came, like I said, back and forth discussions, I got a bit confused on whether they were going to have a battle or not. They didn't really want this to end in violence. I was kind of expecting this whole big vampire battle. However, this is the book that I've been waiting for this whole series, because Bella is so much cooler as a vampire. And as I said in, it was either New Moon or Eclipse, I just wish Bella would die because she's been so mopey and so annoying. In this book, she is so much cooler as a vampire. And she even says that her life was so much more boring. She was just a nothing person, but now as a vampire, she feels like she is something. And she absolutely loves being a vampire, and she is connected to Edward even more so. So it was really cool to see her transition into becoming a vampire. I did kind of feel sorry for her because in this book she does get pregnant on her honeymoon. Bella comes back pregnant, and the baby, like her pregnancy is moving quickly, like it's not a whole 9 months, so it's moving quickly, and the baby is pretty much just tearing her up inside, literally breaking her pelvis, breaking her spine, breaking her ribs. So Carlisle is monitoring Bella at his house. He's got like a full medical room with surgical equipment and x-ray machines. So he's all prepared. And the only way that she survives, because she's deteriorating as well, not just from the broken bones, but she just is deteriorating. So the only way to save her is for her to drink blood. So she drinks blood as a human for the first time, because that's what the little fetus wants. That's the only way the fetus will survive and she survives, is her drinking blood. Anyway, so she finally dies. I don't mean that in an awful way, but she finally dies. And of course, she dies giving birth to the baby because she's saying the baby's dying, get it out of me. And of course, Dr. Carlisle isn't around, so it's up to Edward and Jake and Jacob and everyone to save her. So things get pretty hectic there. Jacob does CPR. Edward pretty much cuts her open to get the baby out, but she dies. But you guessed it, Edward saves her by injecting his venom into her, which is what she wanted the whole time. She wants to be injected with his venom, like his vampire venom. Anyway, so it takes a few days for her to come back to life, but they knew she was going to be okay. And it was really cool to see Bella transition into being a vampire. Her senses are all different. The way she views the world is different. It was really cool to see how they hunt. But they're worried about her, because she's a vampire. Her baby is half human, half vampire, that she will kill go and kill her baby. Jacob is pretty much attached to the baby. So I keep saying the baby. Her name is Renesmee, which is like her mother's name and Edward's mother's name mixed into one. I don't know how I feel about that. So the story is that one previous vampire, is it Irina, her name? She sees Jacob, the baby, and Bella hunting. And of course she reports what she saw to the Volturi. And of course they find out, and then Alice has a vision of them coming for her and the baby and the whole family of the Cullens. So they're under threat. That's why there's this whole thing that starts. All these vampires from all these different worlds come to the Cullens to support the Cullens. Like, I'm talking vampires from Egypt, Ireland, all over the world. They still come and support the Cullens, just to say that the baby is not a threat. Anyway, so like I said, there was this whole workup of the Volturi coming, and then they came, and then after many discussions, they decide that the baby isn't a threat, and they don't know why Irina dobbed them in. She had her motives, I guess. And of course, there was a whole happy ending there. So that's the story in a nutshell. I'm sure there's more to it, but it was a lot. There was 700 pages. I really enjoyed this read. This was the vampire book that I was waiting for the whole series. So that's why it gets a 4. And I kind of feel sorry for Jacob. I kind of wanted to see him have a happy ending, and I actually thought him and Rosalie were going to end up together because they were bickering throughout the whole story, which was quite funny. Yeah, and it was just a really cool story. And I think this was my favourite out of all the 4 Twilight books. There is one more book which I have to read, which is the Life of Bree Tanner. It's that little novella, and I honestly don't know what to expect. All right, let me get reading. Okay, it's interesting. She said she wrote this book while she was editing Eclipse because Bree Tanner is one of those forgotten about characters. And I was wondering why there's a whole book about her, because there's only a quick mention of her in Eclipse. The whole time I was thinking, or maybe Bree Tanner has a bigger part in Breaking Dawn. But she doesn't get a mention again. So, but Stephanie has mentioned that she is like one of those forgotten characters. She wanted to write about Bree and her being a newborn vampire and her perspective of what it's like to be a newborn vampire, is my understanding of why this book is. So we get to see the whole experience of that first moment of becoming a newborn or a newbie or a vampire, whatever. So let's get reading now. Oh, and for any little notes I want to make, I'm going to use my green pastel post-it notes. So I know this does not look appetizing at all, and it's sloppy and whatever, but I think soup is an essential when you have COVID. For lunch, I am having chicken soup, and I've just added a bit of rice in there. That's all I've been having since I've been at home with COVID is soup, and it has been an absolute lifesaver. Bring on the soup diet. And we're done. Finished the last and final book of the Twilight series. I'm going to make myself a cup of tea and then let's talk. Here we are. My final thoughts on the novella, The Short Second Life of Bree Tanner. It's actually, the more I think about it, it's actually a little sad, because this book was purely based on what it was like becoming a newborn vampire. And I kind of feel sorry for Bree, because she was living her second life. And you can tell the difference between Bella's transition from dying and then becoming a vampire to Bree's. Bree was living the hard life on the streets, and she was caught up with the wrong people. She was misguided by Riley, and Riley, she was led to her death. You can tell that her transition and Bella's transition, she had so much love and support around her. Like, she had the whole Cullen family helping her. Whereas Bree was around the wrong people, and it was tough for her. There was one person which helped her, but he ends up dying. Like, they all end up dying. But yeah, the more that I think about it, the more sad it is for Bree, how she lived such a sheltered life, whereas Bella lived this fluffy, easy transition vampire life. Even with the blood that Bree was drinking compared to Bella, Bree mentions that her blood was very, she got the blood from people who were living on the streets, so their blood was full of either drugs or alcohol. It wasn't fresh, healthy blood. Whereas Bella was drinking the fresh and nutritious blood. But Bree said that it was better than nothing. Anyway, so this is just a short novella. There's actually no chapters. It's just one big chapter. And it was interesting to see that Stephanie Meyer did add this little addition. All right, now for the second part is I'm actually just going to wrap up this vlog. I just want to start by saying, if you've followed me through this Twilight journey, thank you so much. This is my first ever kind of vlog style video that I've done, and a reading vlog video. It's actually been a commitment, because you get home from what you're doing and you think, oh, am I going to pick up the camera tonight? Am I not going to pick up the camera? Do I feel like filming? Do I not? And you guys just followed me for a small part of my life. So I thank you for putting up with me and having the patience for my first ever reading vlog. And I apologize that it's taken me this long to read 5 books. I've just got to remember that it's not about how much you read. It's about just enjoying the moment and the process. It's not a race. I'm not racing. I'm not competing against anyone. This is just my life, or a little snippet of my life and what I'm reading. And I must say, Twilight has been an interesting journey. I didn't really know what to expect. I know it was a book about vampires, and it's been an up and down journey. I've just made a TikTok about Twilight books, just a quick 3-minute TikTok. But I've said in that TikTok, because these books were made in 2005, I think. And I said, I know for a fact, 100%, 2005 me would have loved these books. They would have tolerated Bella a bit more and the whole story, and yeah, I know that, so I wish I did read them sooner. But anyway, like I said, here we are. I'm a woman in my 30s reading Twilight for the first time. Jimmy crack corn and I don't care. So my final thoughts and opinions of Twilight is they weren't good, but they weren't bad. I must say it was a good comfort book. I think the first book and the fourth book are a good comfort book. And the two in between are, I don't know, they just dragged on a bit. Anyway, so I'm going to give my final star reviews, and I have changed them. I know that's illegal, but I have thought about it. Oh, so Twilight, I am keeping at a 3.8 out of 5 stars. I don't know if you can give 0.8 of a star review, but I don't care because it was more than 3.5, but not quite a 4. Let me just check back to my notes actually. I did really like the vibe of the first book, just because you're getting to know the characters, and the whole vampire thing is such a cool vibe, and it's an easy read. It was good to see how Bella was kind of adapting to the love of her life being a vampire. I felt like it took a while for Bella to find herself, let's put it that way. And I know when you're in high school, you still don't know who you are or what you're doing. That was a good comfort book, and I actually enjoyed that book. It was a good ease into the world. And I also really like Stephanie Meyer's writing. I actually do want to read her other books. Even though New Moon and Eclipse weren't my favourite, I still liked her writing style and the way she describes things. So New Moon, I think I said I gave it a 3. I'm changing it. I'm downgrading it to a 2.5. And it was really annoying how Bella can't live without Edward. That was pretty much the vibe of the book. I am reading my notes in my diary. It was a book of Bella just pretty much trying to die. And it was half of her, she wasn't doing it on purpose, but we all knew why she was doing it, because she wanted to be with Edward. Jacob kind of saves her, but then Jacob develops feelings for Bella, so that's a whole love triangle there. She was too mopey. She was actually annoying me, and she was mopey. So that's why that gets a 2.5. In the second book, we are introduced to the Volturi, the royal Italian vampire family that lives in Italy. So we are introduced to them, and they are pretty much chasing after Bella because she knows too much now. Eclipse, I did give it a 3, and I've made a note here. I said a generous 3 out of 5 stars, but I'm downgrading it to 2.5. And that is my final grading. 2.5, because again, this book was a drag. The last 100 pages of this book is where the story got interesting. And again, it gave me the ick because Bella can't do anything without Edward. And it's so funny because Edward was so cool throughout the whole book series. I think Edward and Carlisle were my favourite characters out of this whole series. Like I said, when Edward said he can't live without Bella, it was romantic and I could tolerate it. Whereas when Bella said it to Edward, it just annoyed me and gave me the ick. But I get it. These two books are part of the whole story development. So there needs to be a kind of in-between thing happening. Last night, I finally finished Breaking Dawn, and I actually give this a 4 out of 5. This was the book that had the most action. This was the book that kept me engaged. This is the book where Bella finally finds herself, and she is so much cooler as a vampire. I know that's awful, and she finally becomes a vampire. She's loving life. And she finally knows who she's supposed to be. The one thing is, though, she never told Charlie that she was a vampire. Charlie knows that... So her dad. Charlie knows that Jacob is a werewolf, but he doesn't know that Bella is dead and is a vampire now. So that would have been interesting to see how that would have gone down. The only reason why this gets a 4 and not a 5 is because, like I said, it was this whole build-up. It was a bit anticlimactic. It was a build-up of Volturi coming for Bella and her baby, but then everything worked out fine. But it was good to see a happy ending, and I am a bit upset about Jacob because I did want to see his happy ending. And it was also really lovely to see Bella become a mum. Like, a lot happened to her all at once. She went on her honeymoon. The wedding was perfect. She went on her honeymoon and she got pregnant. This baby is not like a normal pregnancy or a normal baby. It just tears her up inside. So a lot happens to her. But it was really lovely to see how she was becoming a mum. And your whole perspective on life just changes when you become a mum. Not that I'm a mum, but I've heard a few things. That one gets a 4 out of 5. And then I've just talked about this, The Short Second Life of Britannia. I give this a 3 out of 5. Yeah, it's a sad book. The more I think about it, the more sad it is. But all in all, I did enjoy the Twilight series. And I'm glad that I have read them. I wish that I did read them when I was younger, but never mind. I'm just catching up now. I'm always a late bloomer to things. I did complain about New Moon and Eclipse, but I understand now how they are necessary and part of the story development. It's been fun. I actually did have a good time vlogging with you guys, and hopefully I can do more. I'm not making any commitments or promises because, like I said, my nursing and social schedule get in the way of filming sometimes. But I'm stuck now, guys, because I don't know what to read next. I really want to continue on with my Zodiac Academy. I love that series. I really want to find out what happens. I'm only up to book 2. Or I don't know if I should start the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas, but that's a commitment. That's like an 8-book series. So there's this, or I saw this book on TikTok. It's had such an emotional reaction on TikTok. TikTok has a lot to answer for, by the way. I've been sucked into book talk and everything on TikTok. Anyway, the second book, was A Little Life by... I'm just going to leave that there because I probably can't say that properly. This has had such an emotional reaction. That's why I bought it, because I want to find out what it's about. But I don't know if I'm ready for such an emotional book. But you just got to read it to find out. So I don't know. By the time this goes up, hopefully I would have made a decision. Anyway, thank you so much for following me on this vlog that took way too long to film. But hey, that is my life. I will hopefully get to do more book videos and reading videos. So thank you so much for watching. Mwah. Twilight signing out.